What's going on? We welcome in the great Jordan Peele.
Here we go. Oh, there's a phone.
Bro, this is wild.
The mistakes you can make can be more beautiful than the things you do intentional.
I'm like, all right, man, what does the protagonist want? All right, let's find out why they make the villain want the same thing. That's not where that charisma should be aimed.
That's not what my house sounds like. I can tell you that.
You're listening to PROX.
I do feel like what you did and are doing is breaking down a door for a genre where maybe Black filmmakers aren't as taken serious, aren't as present. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I remember Tales from the Hood as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I actually loved that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like the kind of movies Black directors made when I was young. Like I knew Spike, I knew John.
Anything from the Hood is a classic.
Yeah.
Leprechaun
in the Hood.
Tales.
Fantastic. Tales.
Boys.
Yeah. Boys. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. Hoodlum.
You're listening to In Proximity. Get Out. Us. Nope. Jordan Peele is the award-winning writer, director, and producer of these groundbreaking films. With Monkeypaw Productions, he's produced movies, TV shows, and other projects that bend genres like horror and thriller. Before becoming a filmmaker, Jordan was a comedian and co-star and co-creator of Key & Peele. He's here today with our founder, writer, director, producer, Ryan Coogler, and we're so excited to bring you this conversation just after the release of the trailer for Ryan's upcoming film, Sinners. You can watch the trailer on YouTube or on our Instagram page @Proximity Media. This conversation was recorded a while back, so they don't touch on the film here. But they do get into genre filmmaking, Jordan's early career, which includes puppeteering and improv, writing and pitching Get Out, and the power of fear.
What's going on? We welcome in the great Jordan Peele to the In Proximity podcast.
Thank you. So good to be here, Ryan. I'm a big fan.
And likewise, bro. And we kicking it off with our Get Real segment. There are questions in each one of these film canisters. Jordan, you can pull them up and read them. I haven't seen these, so I'm a little nervous.
Okay, here we go. Here it is. So happy to be here. Okay. What is your favorite album of all time? Favorite album of all time?
Bro, that is rough.
It's just that's not a quick fire.
Nah, that's tough.
That's when you want to sit down and gnaw.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to say 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang.
Ooh.
But I'm gonna go with Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Man, that's
savage.
Man, I can't believe
it's
this
so
one.
hard.
Yeah, it's so many flashing like before my eyes. I want to say Speaker Box Love Below, but I'm gonna say Tupac Me Against the World.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's hard
it's
to
brutal,
do,
bro.
But I guess cathartic once you get it out.
Yeah. so we go.
All right, go
the next one. Yeah,
here we go.
That's a 35 millimeter reel.
There we go.
It look like.
All right, what makes a good villain? Ooh.
Oh my God.
See, I know you know what makes a good villain.
Man, what do you think makes a good villain?
Let's talk about Killmonger.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
One of the greatest cinema villains of all time. And, the reason was because you refused to allow the character to be treated like a villain in the way you portrayed him. And you and Michael did. You treated him with the respect that you give a protagonist, even though his scenes are cut different. And so I think that is the secret, is that the compassion is put and the humanity is there.
Man, that's a good assessment.
Use your own shit.
Yeah, that's
against you.
I mean, I like all of your villains, man. Like Jean Jacket, you know what I'm saying? Like the family and Get Out. And is her name Adelaide?
Adelaide. Yeah.
Adelaide.
From us, or
Red. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the mix up there.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
But I think the rules that I try to follow, you want to try to make sure that the villain has that they want the same thing the protagonist wants, but for different reasons. You could look at like Heath Ledger in the Joker, right? In the Dark Knight. Both he and Batman, they want control of Gotham. You know what I'm saying? But they want it for different reasons, but they're going after the same thing. So that's what I try to do when I'm going. I don't know if my villain is good or not. You know what I'm saying?
Your villains are good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, your villains are good. Okay. This is the next reel. Here we go. Oh, there's a phone. All right, there's a cell phone in here. It's in proximity. I'm assuming I'm supposed to. Okay, there's a whole treasure hunt.
Bro, this is wild.
Ready? I'm gonna play the clip.
Yo, what's going on? My question is, what discipline outside of film inspires your storytelling and sculpting of your vision?
Nah.
Love every time.
Nah, see.
You know what that is.
We know who that is.
But
I recognize his voice anywhere. I recognize it anywhere.
And the smacks.
I was about to say, how did you get Daniel Kaluuya to do a call on?
Bro, listen to that voice, bro. That's
play that again.
That's an impossibly sexy voice, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Play it again.
Yo, what's going on?
See.
My question is, what discipline outside of film inspires your storytelling and sculpting of your vision? Love every time.
Why is he trying to?
He got like R&B music in the background.
Right. Why is he trying to like seal the deal with us? With us right now? It's like that's not the. Daniel, you don't need to be.
That's not where that charisma should be aimed.
That's not what my house sounds like. I can tell you that. Discipline. Yeah. Okay. I think I have an answer for this. All right. So there's improvising. I'm an improviser, but I have to say I grew up drawing. And drawing, that was kind of like a version of improvising. I think everyone has to kind of find their own way of improvising, right? Whether it's music or drawing or sports or whatever, to be able to kind of set your impulses free and have to kind of build the wings on the way down of whatever you kind of jump off of. And so drawing was that for me. And yeah, I still feel like, you know, my craft in filmmaking is very much based on this sense of mistakes you can make can be more beautiful than the things you do intentional if you use it right.
See, that tells me you're a good artist. Like you could draw well.
I think I could. I thought about it right. And the crazy thing is there's a point when I became an actor, I started improvising. I stopped drawing. I started putting that into other things. But I remember when I sort of hung up my pencils, so to speak, I did feel like, yeah, I could draw anything. But more importantly, I figured out how to draw everything. And that's what I've been here to learn. I'm not here for the drawings.
Right.
I'm here for that lesson.
Right. Wow. I think for me, it's always music. I'm always trying to make movies that make people feel how great movies make me feel, but even more so than that, how great songs make me feel. Like I think about like a song like Fast Car, Tracy Chapman, how I hear that and I cry. No matter who's singing and no matter when it's played, you know what I'm saying?
Me too.
It's a jealousy thing. Like I wish I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And I can't. But I can do this thing. But it always comes back to music for me.
It feels like there's this thing where, you know, musicians want to be actors. Yeah. Actors want to be, you know, directors. Directors want to be musicians. It's like this weird circle. Yep. Oh, and everyone wants to be an athlete.
Yeah.
But then athletes want to be.
They want to be musicians. Yeah. I want to give the warmest, most gracious welcome to the great Jordan Peele.
Thank you.
Actor, director, writer, producer, and just incredible artist to our show in proximity. I want to first start off with how we met. We met at Lil Dom's.
Right.
You remember this?
Yeah, I do. And it was, I think I had maybe reached out to you online.
Think so. Yeah.
And we just set it up, which is, by the way, proof you don't need agents. You could just, but
2017, I think it was.
That's in Los Feliz in California.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was just fans like.
Yeah, big time. My association with you, bro, like is first and foremost through the show, Comedy Central. We were just going back and forth, bro, like deep cuts. Like I've seen all of them. And I think like those sketches are so masterful. But I remember like where I was the first time I seen the trailer for Get Out. And I had gotten to know Daniel because we were getting ready to put him in the Black Panther. And I had seen him before in a few things. But I remember watching that trailer in the offices at Disney while we were prepping, getting ready to go. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I couldn't believe it was you who had made it. And then, flash forward to us being in Atlanta, shooting a film in the winter of 2017. Daniel was kind of telling us a little bit about it and his anxieties about what happens in the movie, what his character's doing, and then it came out and just took the world over. I was so moved by it, man. And I'm kind of like, obviously I'm freaking out because I'm seeing you in all the sketches, but I was so blown away by the film too, man. I was so excited to sit with you, you know what I mean? I remember like it was yesterday.
Thank you, man. I mean, that's good. It's so good to hear you talk about that whole journey with that movie. And I mean, hearing you talk about, seeing that first trailer even, I don't hear a lot of people talk about that experience. And I remember when it came out, my fear about the trailer was that it was really selling the popcorn aspect of the film very hard, and that it felt like a sort of typical horror film. And I thought I made this thing that's like, it's beautiful, it's elevated. And and so I felt scared because I felt like if the thing felt like a joke, if it felt like scary movie and well, it didn't feel like it was the timing for that. We were coming off of the Trayvon Martin murder, in general as a people. And so this idea of finding any kind of entertaining spin or any kind of catharsis in that way,
right,
through genre at what could be considered at the expense of us.
Right.
I was like terrified that could just send it on the wrong way. So I do feel like there were some initial reactions to it that felt like, no, please.
Right.
We do not need this Key and Peele sketch right now.
Right. But it all came through, bro. I think that was the best version of the presentation. You know what I'm saying? Because I think what I really loved was like what you said in Little Doms, bro, was how you realized that the movie was all of these things, like the idea of Get Out and the sunken place being a movie screen that you scream at and you have no control over.
Yes.
And that being where you got your title from, and how black people scream at the movie theater. And I saw the movie in Atlantic Station in Atlanta, bro, like week 2. And it was the most interactive movie watching experience I've ever had in my life, bro. But when you said that you realized while you were writing it that it was about how we go on about our lives while all of these black men are incarcerated in places in America, and we act like it's not happening, but we know it is. Man, it really moved me. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, one of my closest friends was still incarcerated, and I was like, oh, that's what I was feeling the whole time that I'm watching this movie when he's on the phone with Real's character and he's advising him about that situation. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me and my guy, like on those collect calls, talking about situations and what's going on. And the fact that you were able to compare that to the cinematic experience, the feeling of powerlessness that could come with seeing things that were playing out on video screens and screaming at the screen, knowing that you can't stop it, sitting in the theater, screaming at the screen, knowing what was gonna happen, paralleling that with this concept of mass incarceration that's legacies of all of these other things that have haunted us as a community and as a society, as a country. And to see you package it in a way that was so skillful and undeniable, what you guys were able to accomplish with that, I was like, I can't wait to see what he does next. Like, what's the next thing he examines? And it was clear that like, okay, his work is always gonna kind of be a mirror. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Tell me, bro, tell me about like what you did before you got to the point of being a writer director of feature films, bro. Like I've heard earlier in the Get Real segment you talking about drawing, but man, is it true that you went to school for puppeteering, bro?
Yeah, well, I was an odd kid, I guess. I wanted to be a filmmaker as a teenager, and I felt the ceiling,
Well, when did you know? Like, how did you come to realize this is what you want to do?
I think I was probably around 13 or something. I probably saw maybe Edward Scissorhands. Okay, Edward Scissorhands would have probably been the one where I said, you know what, that movie, it has so much heart. It has left me with such a lump and such a beautiful fable, right? And that star of that motherfucker was Tim goddamn Burton. Right, and you have a lot of people firing off. Danny Elfman is doing perfect. Depp is going crazy. Every department, but
it's a voice there.
the voice. So that was probably the moment.
And you at 13 had the wherewithal to say
yes. I felt like I love film enough that I could do that. But I also felt this ceiling. I felt like no one's ever going to give me millions of dollars to make. I think I convinced myself that's not meant to be. And so anyway, puppetry, I was good at acting, for a kid. And, I went to Sarah Lawrence College where you sort of declare your own major, liberal arts college kind of thing. There was a sense of being able to say, I know what I need to learn and I want to figure out what I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's not like they had like puppetry major, but I was like, that's what I want to do. They had a puppetry class. They had, theater classes. They had art classes. They had philosophy. They had, right? You put together a little curriculum for yourself. And that was, I think, for me, a way of committing to what I loved, not to what I was going to be when I grew up. And then
That's
like
incredible, bro.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it was like I left after 2 years because after 2 years I was like, okay, improvisational comedian, that's my new thing. It's this other step sort of back towards what I want to do. And throughout the time, I'm sort of learning all these tricks and these things that really are like putting together what's going to become a director.
Bro, that's wild. And you never let go of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was always there. And I think I always felt like I would be good at it.
What was like your puppetry North Star, bro? Like, was it Burton still or?
Well, what I would have said at the time is I would love to end up in creature effects. Probably.
Okay.
Like the thing. Or
Alien.
Alien. Yeah, that would have been what I said.
So it was movies. It was like ILM.
Yeah, let's head back in movies.
Wow. Because when I think of puppetry, at that time, I'm thinking like stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Jim Henson. But you were thinking like puppetry movies.
Well,
special effects.
I think in how I felt like I could monetize this thing later.
Gotcha.
But the passion, the way I spent that time was doing very different kinds of puppet shows, was doing sort of experimental, some rod puppets, shadow puppetry, all kinds of other weird things that were much more about the idea that you can tell a story with sculpture, essentially, with objects.
Bro, so Sarah Lawrence, you discover improv comedy, you're good at it, you know what I'm saying? And so boom, is it Chicago Improv?
Yeah, so there was one place that you're meant to go if that's what you want to do. And the route is meant to be take Second City or Improv Olympic, or you go to Los Angeles to the Groundlings. And the whole idea is you want to ultimately get on SNL, you want to get on Saturday Night Live.
Gotcha, that's the pinnacle.
That's all there is. If you're an improviser or sketch performer, that's the route. So I went to Chicago and I went with a friend, comedy partner, Becky Drysdale. We did a 2-man group called Two White Guys. It's an ironic title. Ultimately, I ended up going to Amsterdam.
Oh, shit.
Where there was a group called Boom Chicago, still is. And that's basically a Chicago-style improv group out there. So for 3 years, I'm in Europe doing American-style comedy. So that was like, I mean, if you can imagine doing comedy in Amsterdam, it's like you have audiences from all over. It's a total tourist town. Basically, your job is to get up there and make people with all kinds of different kinds of senses of humor laugh. And that whole thing of like honoring the audience and honoring this idea that a success is when you get the biggest percentage of the audience on the same page. That's how you measure success. And so that's how I look at my relationship with the audience is I don't want to leave anybody behind.
Yeah. And so you're in Amsterdam, you come back to the States after 3 years. What brings you back?
So a couple of my friends, Ike Barinholtz, Josh Myers, who had been out there in Boom Chicago with me, had gotten on Mad TV out here.
So where is Mad at, like in relationship to SNL?
Okay, so Mad is basically underneath SNL, right?
Okay.
By the way, I've had many people would disagree. There's a lot of people that I like Mad, but I don't like SNL. But When you're a sketch performer, improv performer at this time, you're not trying to land on Mad TV. You're trying to land on SNL.
Copy that.
But not everyone's going to get that. And you're very lucky to get a spot. And so that's what I was. I was very lucky to get a spot on television, and it was on Mad TV. And it was a whole different type of journey than I was ready for, mainly because I had been just doing comedy in Amsterdam every day. And now my momentum was ground to a halt in a way by the show.
You were used to going.
Now it's wait, maybe you'll get a one sketch next week. So all of a sudden I'm not working, and they don't even pay that well. And so it was it was a transformative era there.
Talk to me from the time between Mad and getting your show.
Between Mad and Key and Peele, it was a very important time as well. So I came off Mad very sort of like bitter from like what I felt was like contractual bullying and this kind of stuff or whatever. Mm. I don't know if that anger is justified, but I was angry,
Yeah.
And I don't have good places to put my anger in general, except my work. That's what that's kind of what I do. And so in this case, my thing was like, all right, convert this into strategy, right? Mm-hmm. I need to be a producer. What I felt like was the producing aspects of the show were making decisions that made it so that whatever work I put into my part of it couldn't sort of emerge,
right?
Which felt suffocating. It feels unfair when you feel, especially when you feel like you're doing something good.
Yeah.
So I felt like that's what you got to be. You have to be a producer.
And it's interesting, like when I listen to it condensed like this, you were a guy who, when going to college, wanted to author your own major. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, you're in Amsterdam, you're getting it out constantly, you come back, somebody putting a cap on it.
Exactly. And it's putting a cap on it, and it's supposed to be the moment when now, everything you've learned, now you're going to get to go do this.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't want to live out in LA. I love New York.
So Mad is in LA.
Mad is in LA. Okay. So that's me here in 2003. I don't drive, but whatever. After I started basically writing Get Out in some
2000, what is this?
Around 2005, the initial idea was already there. And it felt like a dumb idea, but one that I thought was funny, basically. Yeah. And just to be clear, the writing process was like sort of like an incubation for a while, before I really got some. So in its first incarnation, what I had Get Out is called Get Out of the House. Get Out the House.
Get Out the House.
Get Out the House. And it was, all I knew then was it was about that notion of when you scream at the theater, at the screen, mm-hmm. Motherfucker, get out the house. What are you doing? Why are you still there? Yeah. Like, don't you know we're in a horror movie? Kind of vibe.
Yeah. The interactivity. And so I wanted, in that title, I was like basically honoring, like, this is a horror movie for Black people to scream that and da-da-da-da. But I think I had it originally as a girl bringing her boyfriend back to her high school friends. So it was much more like not being in on the personal joke and thing. Right.
Well, it was a couple of years later, I had the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner epiphany, that it should be the family, and that what Guess Who's Coming to Dinner did so well is it makes it so if you're Black, you understand this fear and this situation to a degree in terms of the race of it all. But everybody can relate to this feeling and fear of meeting your in-laws for the first time.
The awkwardness of the situation.
Right. So that kind of, that aligns everyone. So I was like, got to go that way. And then, that was being developed for years, but was always a project that I always thought was like sharpening my tools. So when I actually am writing, and then a few years later, after doing like a pilot and a movie as an actor here or there, Keegan and I got together and sold the show.
Life-changing?
Life-changing. Yeah. I mean, when Keegan and I sold that show, you can imagine this feeling of like, I didn't know that there would ever be another real opportunity for me to do my thing. I felt like I'm not the kind of actor who I have to think of a really fucking funny idea to have people watch my shit.
Right.
I can't just get up there and fucking gosling my ass off. I got I gotta be.
I see what you're saying, bro. You tripping, bro.
I gotta convince a motherfucker to watch me. So anyway, I don't know where I was, but and I know Keegan is just the most dynamic and best sketch performer I've ever seen. So when we sold that show, all of a sudden, it was like, oh shit, we get to do the thing and be the producers.
Wow.
This is it. It's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, everything I wanted to do on Mad TV.
You got your authorship now.
Got an authorship. And then that's why that exploded. And part of it was we knew enough when to be like, nope. That's not it. That's been here, been done that, seen that. And this is why I'm the producer, is I can say no on that.
Man. The first one I ever seen, bruh, and I didn't even know what I was watching. Somehow this came across my radar. But it's the one, I think it's called I Said Bitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first one I ever seen. And I'm like, yo, who are these guys? I couldn't believe like the specificity. Bro, I couldn't believe anything about it. But also like what actually blew my mind the most, because I was in film school at the time, I think, was the production value. As a filmmaker, I could feel like, I was like, oh, they're going for it. They're in a field like with backlight, big wide shot. Oh, now these motherfuckers are in space. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's gonna float out. He's gonna float out in the spacesuit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, who are these guys? It's just incredible stuff, bro. So talk to me about from that to Get Out.
Yeah.
What was the moment when you knew Get Out was gonna get made?
Well, it was, by the end of Key and Peele, it really did feel like, we've kind of done what we need to do, what we're here to do in terms of like, I've played everything I could want to play. Yeah. So it did feel natural, even though in many ways it felt like the world was just kind of catching on.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I had developed Get Out to a point where I thought it was possible that it was the best thing I had done.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it could get made, but the sort of practical joke of it was sort of continuing to go a bit. And I felt like, because of this Key and Peele thing, maybe it would get made. It's just hard to
yeah.
And by the way, I didn't have the script, but I had all the plot points. So I knew the whole thing. You were still
in the outline phase.
So an outline.
And how did you have it outlined out in Microsoft Word and cards at the house? Like, how did you?
It was mostly, I probably had it in Final Draft at some point, but it was mostly that wherever I would go, I would tell somebody the whole movie. So I knew it.
And you were, yeah, right. And of course, and you were an improv actor. Like you was probably giving them the whole thing.
I had the pitch. Moment to moment.
Bro, how are you as a pitcher, bro?
But when it gets going, I can.
It's going.
I'm good pitching.
That's got to be crazy. Like to be an improv. you know what I'm saying? I think like all writers, directors are solid pitchers, bro. But that just seems unfair. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what?
I would hate to like come in the room and pitch after you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what is the best use of sketch improv is before you get the actors in, you can do a read through of the script, and you know how you do a read through a script with no actors, it's just dry,
yeah.
things get missed.
Yeah.
I can do like the impressions of everybody. So Bro. It really actually does help with all these little things, like people not realizing how something was supposed to be, what the vibe was.
But that's insane, bro.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun.
I can't do any of my shit.
Well, look, I mean,
it's like accents.
People probably hate me by the end of it, but I do it.
Bro, that's incredible, bro.
But yeah, I mean, look, so then I went to QC Entertainment, this guy named Sean McKittrick, who had produced a film that Keegan was in. So Keegan sort of introduced me to this guy, and I went and sat down with Sean.
This is not the QC like quality control, the record label.
No, it's QC Entertainment, which was it's a film company. It's formerly Darko Entertainment. Donnie Darko was how they started. I sat down with Sean and I said, look, I've got a movie that's never gonna get made, but I want to pitch it to you anyway.
Yeah.
Half believe that to be true.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's the best way to start a pitch.
Oh yeah. Lower the expectations. Put them in the dirt.
Make it their idea, right? There, So then but then at the end of that, he was like, we'll give you some cash for that. We'll give you some money. Just a little bit of money. But look, I was like, boom.
You going.
He's like, we'll do that. We'll make that movie for $5 million. Now, Ryan, in my head, I was saying, okay, now I got to go write it, and someone's going to have to direct this thing. Ryan, it was not even in my mind that I would direct. After all these years, I thought, why would anyone let me direct something for my first time direct? You know, that stigma. I'm a first time director.
Yeah.
I start writing this. I get into the party sequence, right, where they start asking him.
Pre-auction.
Before
he goes off,
they're being creepy and and that experience of being black in a white space and feeling your blackness radiate in everybody's fucking minds, you know, that feeling. And so when I'm writing that, I'm like, ooh, I'm getting it, I'm nailing it, and then I realize, wait, a white director can't do this. Ryan Coogler doesn't exist to me yet. So who's gonna do? Who can pull this off? I'm the only person that can pull this off.
Oh man,
you get the Spike Lee, but we're not. He ain't gonna do. You know. So I called Sean. I said, "Look, I'm loving what's happening here, but I'm realizing I think I have to direct it."
What was his reaction?
He didn't hesitate. He said, "Okay."
Amazing.
And I think in some ways, you know, obviously it was just the right move for a lot of reasons, but he's an experienced filmmaker. And, you know, I think he's sort of waiting for those moments where something works and something makes sense. And my determination, the fact that I was not going to be expensive, and, you know, the inarguable of like, who the fuck else is going to do it?
Love it, bro.
And then from that moment forward, it was like, wait. I get to direct my own movie now?
It's like the realization of what you wanted to do at 13. Man, I mean, I gotta ask you about something, bro, before we move on. You know, I couldn't imagine, bro. I couldn't imagine making something that's that great and hits like that my first time out, bro. Like grand slam in every measurable way. And for me, in every way that you can measure a movie. You know what I'm saying? Get Out is just like, it's one of those things. And it also has the uncontrollable quality of feeling like it came out of nowhere, even though it didn't. When I hear you talk about your life, how do you reckon with that, bro?
I mean, you know, I know exactly what you mean. And it's so much of it, as you know, is timing, right? I mean, that movie was a time, you know, It's Black Panther. It was a time. And so it's impossible to even remove the film from the time in a way, because it was something that was happening. That's all I know how to put it.
It was outside of you. You felt like at a certain point.
Yeah. How do you reconcile that? Not every movie is going to do what that did. Yeah. You may never have a movie that does what that did.
Yeah.
Few people do. And I'm first off very thankful and feel fortunate, and I feel like I crushed it. I put in that work, but timing. And I guess what I mean by that is a week before my movie came out, there could have been some, let's say a police brutality incident that put us in an environment where people didn't feel fun with that, right? That would have been a totally different journey for that movie to go on.
And it's so outside of your control as a filmmaker.
So there's some part of it that's so outside of your control.
Yeah.
And so I'm fortunate enough that, you know, the movie that I made as a response to the racism I saw existing in the Obama era came out when Trump took over.
Yeah.
You know, and he beat Hillary.
Yeah.
So the movie that was about this one kind of coded racism came out in this time when it was very much this loud conversation. That's such an alchemy.
Yes.
That, by the way, involved, to be fair, the critiquing of white liberalism.
Right.
You know, in a time when Trump is big. So you've got a lot going on.
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't Get Out. It was what was happening and that timing of it.
I want to talk to you about genre and like the concept of it. It's something I'm actually kind of like at odds with, because we talk, bro. Like I'm a big music fan, I know that like genres in music are mostly based in racism. You know what I'm saying? Like if I say blues, country, rock, bluegrass, hip hop, reggaeton, I'm subtly talking about race. And I feel like it's so interesting with filmmaking because I don't think it's as obvious as it is in music. Film is a younger art form, but it is a little bit there. You know what I mean? Like in I'm curious how you feel about what's your relationship to genre as a concept, as a word.
Yeah, I think it's evolving. I feel like when Key and Peele was going, I looked at the word genre as let's see how many genres we can do. Have we hit all the genres? And so maybe I don't know what I meant, styles or worlds, but
yeah, like but it is a thing in film, right? Like a classification. What's the main? Like, what do you think of when you think of genres?
What I think about it is a genre is a bunch of things that you can expect an audience to expect if they think this movie is this genre. So
like almost like a contract.
It's a contract that you can break and you can zag against, you can do whatever. But, so much of storytelling is knowing where your audience is at. If an audience is watching a horror film and they know they're watching a horror film, they'll yell, "Get out the motherfucking house."
Yeah.
If they think they're watching a romantic comedy, well, they still might, but they, they're
it's like, kiss him. Go with it.
Yeah, right. Go kiss him. Right. So
go.
So much of it is about, for me, audiences' expectations of what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're working with genre and using it, it's all because you're trying to feed future moments.
Bro, I love this. Expectations.
It's expectations.
Because I do feel like what you did and are doing is breaking down a door for a genre where maybe Black filmmakers aren't as taken serious, aren't as present. You know what I mean? I remember Tales from the Hood as a kid. I actually loved that movie. I remember like the kind of movies Black directors made when I was young. Like I knew Spike, I knew John.
Anything from the Hood is a classic.
Yeah.
Leprechaun
in the Hood.
Tales.
Fantastic. Tales.
Boys.
Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Hoodlum.
Yeah.
But it was Spike and John. Eventually, like Malcolm got in the mix. And each time that they would do something, I remember it would be this energy of like, man, what are they doing now? I remember Spike made a movie that had a bunch of white people in it. I think it was like Summer of Sam, I think. In the trailer, there's a bunch of white people. And like, I remember my mom be like, hey, Spike got a movie with white people in it.
Right.
But that idea of like, if you can feel like the trail is being blazed, but us as filmmakers in the drama space, comedy space, science fiction, horror, these other spaces, like a director or auteur, getting into those spaces and being taken seriously by fans of that genre. I remember when there was a lot of media coming out around the time that Get Out was released. They were almost like staging you like Hitchcock and Kubrick. Some of this stuff was fan made, some of them was photo shoots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember thinking like, bro, this is awesome. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Were you cognizant of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was all that crazy sort of dream come true, I mean, it seems like you've been there too, but for me, it was just a moment of great like appreciation, really living in the moment, and understanding like, look, 2017, look what's happening here.
Yeah.
Birth of my son, my first film.
Wow.
It doesn't get better, right?
It's like you're in the stratosphere.
I'm in the stratosphere.
Did you feel present while it was all happening?
Yeah, I did.
That's amazing.
I did. I felt present. I felt like, this is, if you get past this and you feel like you look back and didn't enjoy it, you fucked up. And so then I did. And a lot of that sort of love and energy, I think, permeates in Monkeypaw, my company, where I feel like, I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with just an incredible team who really like share this idea of pushing forward this notion that you're talking about, using the fact that we haven't gotten the opportunities to be in the genre space, the money-making space, really.
Right.
Because our trailblazers have been in drama, and so that's what we have. And so when Get Out happened, when Panther happened, I think the realization was that whatever the system, whatever fear has been keeping Black people from these positions where they could lead a ship to potentially make a whole lot of shit ton money for somebody. Mm-hmm. Whatever fear put that system in place has probably fucked a lot of people out of a lot of money because, something's happening here.
Yeah.
And you can see something. You can see, it's just crazy. When I look at what you have accomplished with your films, I'm always just like, well, I don't understand. Where did you went to film school?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You went to full film school.
I did.
So it does work.
Yeah. Jesus.
Because motherfuckers say that it doesn't really, that most people go to film school and they don't come out and ready to make films or something. But you did.
I mean, bro, it's a lot of film schools. It's a lot of people going through them. Mm-hmm. Filmmaking is incredibly complicated. It's a lot of gates that are being kept. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like, it's a gamble. Yeah. Even if you get accepted, it's a gamble, I would say, but it could work for you if it's right for you. It ended up working for me.
Do you have that feeling it's only a matter of time kind of thing? I mean, you seem like you got it's inevitable.
No, I didn't have that feeling, man. Like I nursed a lot of doubt, bro, and got a lot of rejection. Like, I got affirmations when I needed to. I did have teachers pull me aside and like early on to say, I think you got something. You know what I'm saying? But I also had like, every film festival in the world, internationally, say, nah, we'll pass on this short. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we'll pass on, I had success and affirmations peppered into the massive piles of rejection, and it would be just enough to keep me going.
So for so long being an actor, it's like that, there's a certain amount of torment you put yourself through.
Right.
And a certain amount of fear and pain that you just live with, you go about. And then when I kind of hung up the acting thing for me, it felt like nobody's trying to kill me anymore. Yeah. I can do what I do and I'm not under fire.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, bro.
I mean, fear does crazy things,
Bro, what?
Fear just, I mean, it's such, it's weird because like, I remember when I was about to direct this thing, I met Ben Affleck
before Get Out.
Before Get Out.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. I wasn't like hobnobbing with Afflecks in general, but I made myself into this one situation and I remember I said, look, I'm terrified. He was like hot off of Argo or whatever.
Yeah, right.
He said, that's good. Use your fear. Something like some Batman shit. Use your fear.
Yeah.
It's like that fear will guide you.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Like, and it was good advice, right? Because,
you lean into it.
I leaned into it. I was like, okay, right. He's like, if you don't have fear, then you should be afraid. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that comes from the Project Greenlight guy. So we good.
Let's go.
And then I did.
Prox Recs.
So on Prox Recs, we recommend a thing that could be helpful, useful for our audience. When you picture our audience, bro, think about yourself at Sarah Lawrence, in Amsterdam, coming back, people who are interested in the industry in different ways and are listening in, trying to figure out advice and ways that they can guide the path. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It could be a book, it could be a piece of music, it could be a technique, anything. For me, I'm going to recommend, since we talking about great directors that are also actors and improv and all these things you're talking about, I read the Mike Nichols biography recently. Beautifully written book about, one of the finest American filmmakers. Just made some incredible movies and worked with Nicholson a lot, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Came up doing improv acting, in theater, and then transitioning to making some classic American cinema. You got Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, you got The Graduate, you got Carnal Knowledge, and all these incredible films. But shit, I check out his book and his life path. There'd be some parallels, I think, with some of the things you're talking about, Jordan. You want to give a Prox Rec?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say from a process standpoint, this thing that we've been talking about, like, I'm realizing more and more that my films, my stories, the projects so far really have been about focusing anger and fear And I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's always going to be the case, but I would say to somebody, if you are angry, like I am often, and if you have a issue where you don't have that outlet, or you feel like it's a lingering problem that makes you upset, then that can actually be a good nugget to build off of in terms of your creative process. If you're passionate about your act, if you can convert that passion into your project, when you're done with the project, you'll be less angry about that thing. That's my theory. But other than that,
bruh. Bruh, that's beautiful, bruh.
Yeah.
Hey, it should be expected, but that just blew me away.
Well, hey, look, that, and last night I just read that Rick Rubin book. You read that?
Oh yeah. Art of Creativity,
Yeah.
or is that Creative Actor?
The Creative Act, yeah. That and that one, it broke me out a little writer's block. So that's a nice little tip.
That's fantastic. I mean, we back then. We got something coming.
Hey.
If you writing, bro, it's a good day in the future. Jordan, bless you, bro. Thank you for this,
Ryan, man. Thank you. This was a blast, man. So good to hang with you.
Right on.
In Proximity is a production of Proximity Media. If you like the show, help us spread the word. Send a link to your friends and loved ones. Follow, rate, and review In Proximity on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. And follow us on social media. We're at Proximity Media on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. To learn more about us and read episode transcripts, head to proximitymedia.com. In Proximity executive producers are Ryan Coogler, Zinzi Coogler, Ohanian, and Paola Mardo. That's me. Our theme song and additional music is composed by Ludwig Göransson. Caitlin Plummer is our producer, Celine Mendiola is our associate producer. Our editors are Cedric Wilson and Judy Bell Kamangyan. Ken Nana is our sound designer and mix engineer. Isabella Miller is our production assistant. Alexandria Santana is our social media coordinator. Special thanks to all the other folks who helped make this show possible, the whole Proximity Media team, and to you for listening to In Proximity.
Showed it to Zinzi, who runs the company with me. She was my girlfriend then. We got inside jokes based off them sketches, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll say, "I'm the man of the house." Like if she bossing me around or something.
Yeah. Wait, which one was that?
That's when I said, "Man, I'm the man of the house."
I'm the man of the house. Yeah.
But I think our all-time favorite one, bro, is the soul food one. They ordering on the lunch break.
Yeah. Dog face.
Right.
Donkey teeth. Right.
Donkey teeth. Yeah.
That's the original donkey teeth.
Yeah. Forget everything I said up to this moment right now. In an old Ebony magazine.